Hey everyone, I'm Taylor Smith here on Six in the Mix, and today we have our very own host from Six in the Mix, Roxanne Vargas. Roxy, thank you for joining us today. All right, Roxy, so to get to know you a little bit, can you tell us a little bit about where you're from, how you got started in this business?
I am from the 305. Is that used out? Do people overuse the whole 305? Thing?
No, that's totally normal.
Born and reared, actually in Hialeah. So this is my
These
home.
are your stomping grounds.
My stomping grounds, baby. What's up? Yeah, this is my hometown. How I got started here, I was 19.
Okay, wow.
Knocked on the door. I found out there was a position available in the creative services department. So shout out to all of our interns in the creative services department. Worked there. Actually, I was initially hired under Telemundo 51, under the great Maria Cristina Barros. We have Susan, who is at the helm of the Telemundo 51 creative services team now. And it was an excellent learning experience. I not only worked with Telemundo 51, I worked with NBC 6 as well.
Got a little bit of both.
Yeah, learned both sides of the coin. My Spanish was mucho better. No, me encanta hablar español también. But it was a great opportunity to learn. I always say that there's so many different aspects to our world. You see Jackie Nesbro, you see Joanne Strader, you see Daisy Balmajo, but it's all the faces behind the scenes as well. The producers, the editors, the promotional team. So I learned about how to promote our product, how to promote the newscast. At the time we had the WB, so it actually produce promotions for the WB. When we had the newscast then, I would coordinate talent appearances for both NBC6 and Telemundo 51, helped out on all sorts of community events. So that was a really great learning opportunity. And it kind of, my job has evolved almost every single year since I started in 2003. So I was very fortunate, and my big break, as they call it, when it came to television, was during Hurricane Katrina, actually, right here in our community. And it's a really long story. I don't want to bore you guys. I'll tell you about it if you want to know. But I've just been so blessed and so fortunate to have had amazing mentors in this building, and mentors that have moved on from this building who I still, tap all the time and try to soak in as much information. But at the end of the day, we're storytellers, right? And it's a great privilege to tell an honor and a privilege to tell the story of my community. And I'm just so blessed to have been embraced, not only by the NBC6 and Telemundo 51 family, but by our community here in South Florida as well for so many years.
So when you started originally and knocked on the door and found this position, did you know that this is something you wanted to do since you were little?
I always wanted to do it, but I never had the guts to think that I had the worth.
The talent, you actually do it.
Yeah, I have VHS tapes. We can Google what a VHS tape is. I know that not a lot of people know.
Those big square things.
Yeah, those big square things. I actually still have a VCR at my mom's house. And I have on tape projects that I did in grade school, in elementary school, in high school, where I would actually play reporter. And it was always something I wanted to do. I just never had the faith in myself. My mother is still a public school teacher, my aunt as well. I tutored my way through high school to pay for gas and homecoming tickets and stuff like that. So I always thought, I'm going to be a teacher. So I actually worked in the Miami-Dade County public school system for 2 years, and I quickly grew an even greater appreciation for our teachers, and I quickly learned that is not the job for me. And
it's harder. It's harder than it looks.
It absolutely is. And I built out the guts to apply for the position, the assistant's position in creative services, and I got it. And and at that moment I was like, my major track at FIU was communications, broadcast journalism. And I was like, okay, let's give this
see where it takes me.
And I've been so blessed to be here hanging out with you.
And so it's something new every day here. This is a fast business, fast pace. What do you think is the hardest part about not even your job in particular, just like the business in itself?
The business has evolved so much, even in my, I've been in this world since '03, and even in that small amount of time, it has evolved so much. I've seen the dawn of social media, and how I remember when I signed up for Facebook, you could only have a .edu, and if you didn't have your email was not a .edu, you couldn't be a part of Facebook. And now Facebook is one of the most powerful tools that we use for communication with our consumers in this world of communications every single day. And it has evolved so much. So it's important about, keeping up with what's relevant and what the consumers, i.e. the viewers on the other end, want from us. You know, it's not just how I could service you starting at 4:30 a.m. or at 4 p.m. It's how can I service you 24 hours a day? And that's why, like, I constantly have my phone with me, because, you know, that's how another way that we communicate. We don't wait for the 4 o'clock news to tweet out breaking news, to tweet out, you know, a lead that we have for our story. It's making sure that they have that information
all the time.
All the time. It's making sure that it is accurate, that we, you know, deliver it in a clean, concise, you know, manner that you want to connect with. Exactly. And, you know, speaking to your level, speaking with you, not at you or over you. I think that that's so important. And making sure that we remember the basics of journalism, which is, you know, never settling for an answer, always asking the next question, making sure that we're delivering the information as accurate as possible, you know, always accurate. You know, don't just, you know, settle for the first response. Keep searching for the answers and make sure that you do have the accurate information. You know, and I think writing is one of the most important foundations of what we do as storytellers. You know, flavor has life, so tap all those senses in your writing. And you know, I think that's all crucial, and telling it through use of great video and editing with, you know, our great artists who we have as, you know, editors and photographers, whether you're doing crime or you're doing, you know, lifestyle and entertainment, like we do, you know, and just communicating and just, you know, being real with our people on the other side.
And so this is a really hard question, because you do things every single day, always fun, always exciting. But if you have a memory or something that stands out from just your experience at NBC from the whole time you've been here, what would it be? Do you know?
Yeah, you know, there's so many amazing opportunities, and I always say, as reporters and as journalists, we have the access to places that, you know, the viewers at home don't have. Whether it's, you know, a crime scene, a horrible accident, or it's, you know, you're on a red carpet covering a Clásico and interviewing Mark Anthony one-on-one. You know, you're arm's distance away from Jennifer Lopez, or sitting down with Will Smith and Tom Hanks. You know, I've had the incredible pleasure of doing all of those things and more. But what really resonates with me personally is telling the story of our community. I always go back to about a year ago. We got an email from a family originally from Michigan. Parts of the family, like, you know, grandfather, whatnot, had relocated, lives here in Miami Springs, and they, this person's grandson passed away at a very young age. His name is Chad, and they started this organization called the Chad Tough Organization. He passed away from an incredibly rare type of childhood cancer, and, you know, not many people knew about it, and these people invited me into their homes. I get so emotional talking about it, because that's a choice that they made. They chose me to tell their story and to honor their son's memory. And we made a difference with our story, because we had more people come out to that walk. We raised more money. We raised more awareness. You know, they called me back because they want to do another story, and they want to make South Florida one of their main sites for these walks every single year. And I got an email from Chad's mom thanking me for honoring her son. Yeah, for honoring her son's memory. And, you know, it's a choice that you make, that viewers make. And that's, you know, I've met the most incredible celebrities in this world, and I am so blessed. And that's something that, you know, it's a privilege and an honor.
It is a privilege.
But to tell the community story, I mean, there's nothing like that trust that they put in us, that they put in me. So that's one of the stories that resonates most when you asked.
Well, thank you so much. That's all I have. Come give me a hug.
Wait, no, we're out of frame. Hold on.
Oh, no. We're gonna hug here. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining us today, and we will see you tomorrow at 11:30 on 6 in the Mix.